From Inwood in New York City, welcome to Inwood Art Works On Air. It's where we meet the musicians, writers, theater makers, filmmakers, and artists of all stripes who make their home what we affectionately call upstate Manhattan. I'm your host, Aaron Sims, and today we welcome local actor, producer, director, and writer Kimberly Dillon. Kimberly's short film, One Day, which she wrote, produced, and directed, has been making its festival run and explores one woman's experience as the world transitions to a matriarchy. Other recent productions include the short doc, Warriors of Education, and the dramatic short, Sound Vision, as well as a site-specific run of John Patrick Shanley's play, Savage in Limbo, and one-woman show, The Road Back. The devised play, Between the Threads, Jewish Women Project as well. Recent acting includes the film Hair Trigger, featuring women desperately trying to cope with her daughter's school shooting. And Kimberly has a blog as well and a podcast entitled Sensitive Flower, which explores the world through the lens of a sensitive human, available on Substack and Patreon. We're going to talk to her about a lot of her work on and off the camera, and maybe off the audio switch to with podcasts. So first, let me welcome you, Kimberly, to Inwood Art Works On Air. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
A lovely day in Inwood here. We're so happy to be on location here. It's part of choosing different locations throughout the community to have them as part of the fun and the mystique of including that part of the community to inform. And so it's good to get people out and face to face, actually talking like human beings. How's that for sensitivity, right? A real human being. We're not being thrown into the matrix. It's not Tron here or anything else. We're all about human beings. So as I stated in your bio, which we just have a podcast about your bio, you act in front of the camera and are a driving force behind it. Both have a lot in common with each other, but demand different skill sets. As someone who has done what you're doing, I'm curious if you prefer one or the other.
Like acting and producing?
Yeah.
I like them both for very different reasons. I tend to be quite an organized person. I like things to be in their place. I like, it's very soothing to have a spreadsheet.
Most actors don't say that.
I know. But for me, I can be a little introverted, and so if I can be alone working on a spreadsheet and working things out, that's the producer part of me that I really love. But I also need, I'm an ambivert, I think, probably. I need a little bit of both, and I need the feelings and the emotions, and I need to move my body, and I'm such a curious person that when I take on a role and I'm able to have that kind of attention and to bring a character into myself, it's just the best thing in the world. So I like them both for different reasons, and I try to keep a balance. Mm-hmm. So one isn't taking more control over my life than another.
It's a good way to think about it, and seeing, having playing the servant of two masters, so to speak, going to both. So I guess you started off as an actor. Is that right? What was your foray into performing or theater or film? Did you start off acting, or was there another way, directing?
No, I started off as acting, as most people do when they come to the city. I'm from Ohio. I'm from the Midwest.
All good people are from Ohio.
So,
I am from Ohio.
Are you serious?
So dead serious.
Where?
Cincinnati.
I'm from Toledo.
Holy Toledo. Congratulations.
Holy Toledo.
Very good. Toledo Rockets.
You and I could have a whole podcast
Toledo
about
Rockets.
Ohio.
There you go.
I know the Toledo Rockets. What was your question again? I forget.
Doesn't matter. We're going to talk about Cincinnati for the rest of the time on the podcast. It's all no.
We're switching gears.
Switching gears to Skyline Chili and Grater's Ice Cream. We're talking about your foray into the arts was through as an actor.
Yes. So when I came here, sort of straight out of college, of course, I was immediately into acting, because when I was in college, we didn't have classes on producing your own work or directing. I just didn't go to college for that.
Did you go to University of Toledo? Where'd you go?
I went to a little private college called Ohio Northern University.
Sure, I know exactly where that is.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Middle of a cornfield.
I've been there. I saw a production of Jesus Christ Superstar there probably the summer of 1995.
Yes. They have an amazing theater program there, a gorgeous theater. So I was really drawn to that. Anyway, so I came here and I was doing all the acting for many years. And then as a lot of actors will tell you, you just start feeling like I don't have control of my own career, my own life, like, et cetera. And so I found this producing workshop called Produce Your Own Work. And she sat us down and she really taught us how to do the nuts and bolts of putting together, your own production. So I really latched onto that and it felt very empowering.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I also a liberal arts institution as well, where you're small and you have to do a lot of different things too, probably.
Yes.
And so
yes,
you're
I
not
got
pampered. It's just you're not just reading scripts.
No, I mean I did stage management there.
Yeah.
I mean we did a little producing, but it was also an extremely small program, so there was only so much that they could do. But yeah, I was definitely in the weeds there. All hands in.
Well, it is, and you're kind of out in the weeds. It's kind of like in the middle of nowhere, too.
Yes.
I believe. Yeah, if I remember correctly. I think I'm fact checking myself. I think it was summer of '96, but who's really counting? Well, that's awesome. And and then how do you find your way to Inwood?
Well, I was living on the Upper East Side. That was just sort of the first apartment that I found, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's a safe neighborhood," and fresh from Ohio, I was like, cool, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
And then there just wasn't enough room. It was like a tiny studio. And again, I was just such a fish out of water. And I'm like, I need more space, not really knowing. I had no frame of reference.
Right.
So I was at a temp job. Mm-hmm. And this is back in the late 90s. So I literally was looking at the newspaper in the real estate section, trying to find places to rent. And this girl who, I was friendly with in the office, she was like, "Oh, I'm moving out of my apartment. You should like take it over." I'm like, "Well, where do you live?" She's like, "Inwood." And at the time, I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Can you put out a map and put your finger on what that is? Thank you.
Can you MapQuest that? Yeah. So like I went up there and I checked out the neighborhood and I saw how much the rent was.
And compared to the Upper East Side, yeah.
And I was like, I'm in.
And twice the space probably as well.
Oh, yeah.
We are known for that. If people don't understand that, we're known for our spacious pre-war apartments and post-war, I guess, as well now.
Yeah.
They're building more as we speak.
Yes.
And when did you arrive? What year did you arrive here?
I think it was like 1999.
Wow.
So I've been here a long time.
Yeah. You've seen the neighborhood change quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, I got here about 2003, and so a little after you. But yeah, it's definitely we've seen some seasons here.
Yeah, for sure. Some good, some more challenging. But
Yeah. So why do you think there's never been a performing arts space up here? Because you're in the arts like I am, and very active, and you've always had to go downtown or out of town to work, which is why I kind of started Inwood Art Works, because there wasn't anything here.
I don't know. I know you've asked other people this question on this podcast, and people have such varying ideas.
They do, and points like you've been here for a while, so I think you're qualified to answer.
It's just I don't get it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, probably money and space. And now that space is getting even more sort of clustered here, unless they build something specific, new, I don't know where we would put it.
Yeah. Good.
You probably know better than I. Like what kind of spaces are available.
But that's a carousel of any given moment in time, of course. Like there's, and also too, like what you're trying to accomplish too. Like there were movie theaters here, like dating back to like, of course, like the late 1800s, early 1900s through the, up to the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And then I think our last movie theater was the Alpine, which was kind of near where the McDonald's-ish is on Dykeman. So yeah, who knows? Technology, more screen time, less out time with other people. I think there's a lot of things. I don't think you can put your finger on one thing, but of course, rising rents and at the end of the day, it's a business, right? So if you're not bringing in enough money to meet your property taxes if you own, or your mortgage, et cetera, so on, or your rent, your lease, excuse me, I mean, that's the bottom line business wise. But two, it's like it takes a lot to run an arts organization too.
Yeah.
And I think there's maybe not so many takers on that end as well. Like you really have to want to and have the vision for it. And I think it's too big of a thing for one person to do. It'd be a collective of a group of kind of. That's my personal opinion. Is that it takes more and you can't tell community what they want. The community has to ask for it. That's my personal idea.
I kind of disagree with that because
excellent. Let's hear it.
I just think that sometimes communities may not know what they want until it's in front of them.
True.
And then they're like, ooh, like this is cool. Like this is cool that this is happening. And then that can gain momentum. But I agree with you that the people involved in the organizing of it have to just really, really want it because it is so hard. And I think in terms of what you said about, a brick and mortar or something, like you need a landlord who's going to say, I'm giving you like a 10-year lease agreement for this amount of money. So It gives you time to grow. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about this. These are just like my thoughts
I asked the
coming
question
out of my mouth. But
yeah,
it just feels like it needs to be somebody who's like someone who loves the arts.
Yeah.
And somebody who's going to like rent you the space and be like, I understand what you're trying to do. And I'm going to give you the time to grow it and develop it.
Yeah, a landlord that gets it would be key, I would think.
Totally key.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel too. Which leads me to a larger question of, so you're still here, you're doing it. What made you decide to commit to this vocation as an artist?
Oh.
It's a very jealous mistress.
I don't think that there was ever a commitment, excuse me, a commitment that I made. It's just always been in me. It's just a part of like my genetic makeup.
Right.
To seek creativity, to seek speaking my voice, to seek telling stories. So I think over the years when things have gotten really hard and I felt really down and I've taken time off and things, that was when I would get the call and then I would have to recommit in a way. But I never, from the very beginning, I never felt like I was committing. It's always been so like, this is how I'm built.
Yeah, well, that's my point is like but it's the path you've chosen. You know what I mean? It's like that's what I meant by commitment wise. It's the path you've chosen, and I'm just curious, and you're not out of college. You've lived a bit of a life. Where you are now, reflecting on your journey, like where do you see yourself now? Like how do you feel about it?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to think back on your life at certain points and be like, oh man, I should have taken that opportunity, or I should have done that thing, or whatever. But I always say there's always wisdom within that. And you can always take that information. And if you're smart, you can learn and then move forward into the next thing with that wisdom, with that information. Mm-hmm. And I have much more of an ability to listen to myself now. And so if something keeps knocking at the door, like, Kim, you need to, this is bringing you joy, this is giving you life points, then I'm much better now learning to follow that instead of being nervous or, oh, should I or should I not, which I did a little bit more when I was, starting out. So yeah, I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Not really, but you kind of danced around a little bit. But you don't have to commit to answering the questions either. It's the very thing about being on an interview. You're a good
I tend to just go with whatever's bubbling up.
I'm in the free world, man. That's my vibe, all right. But you did in many ways, but a way I want to kind of like move it to you in a way is like saying, so committing and you're following your path and checking in where you are now.
Yeah.
And, how do you feel about where you arrived with One Day, the film you made? And I'm just curious. So it's a very empowering film, which I think is a great thing for a person to create. And what prompted you to create it?
Well, I mean, just get serious now. This was back in 2017, 2018. It was spurred on by a very, very public and awful rape case that was just constantly in the news and everything. And I just was somehow latching onto it. And you know how you get latched onto stories and you just like end up like, I want every morsel of information that's coming out. And I was getting like physical issues from the information. And I would just like, one time I like ended up crying in the street and I was just like, what is happening in my body? So I started journaling.
Yeah.
And from that journaling, the script started taking shape and the characters and what do I want to say? And, you know, and it all just kind of bundled in that way. So it was just very sort of, I didn't plan it. It just came out of me.
It's something you had to do. You had a visceral
It was
reaction.
something, yeah, I had to do.
That's great. Well, I got a great screening, I thought, at the festival. I hope you enjoyed your time there.
Yes,
and
amazing.
I thought the audiences were very, very receptive of your work and your whole block, for that matter, I think. And I'm just curious, what's going on now with you filmmaking-wise, if anything?
Well, I am writing a feature screenplay right now. I'm just in the very beginning stages. I'm just trying to put the outline together, the synopsis, figuring out what the story really is. I have done some actual script writing of it. I've written some scenes. So I'm doing that. And also I've been tinkering around with the idea of sort of One Day Part 2, like what happens once the matriarchy is in place and what kind of reckoning people have to go through now that we've changed into that paradigm.
One Day, Day 2.
Yeah, One Day, Day 2. Yeah, exactly. Or maybe a little further down than that. But
okay.
yeah, so those are kind of the two projects that I'm tinkering with.
Great. Look, I love it that the creative juices are still flowing there.
Oh, yeah, always.
You know, so I don't know if you are aware, but Patrick Lillis had a film in the film festival the previous year.
Yes.
Here, and I noticed he directed your one woman show, or did the Road Back.
He directed the Road Back. I was a producer.
A producer of the show.
On that,
sorry.
yes.
Got it. How crazy is that? Small world, right?
Totally small. It's the smallest.
And what's the life of the Road Back? Is it done? Is it moving on somewhere else?
It's done. It was a one-woman show that Adina Taubman wrote and performed in. And I don't know. I mean, she is really amazing at taking her solo shows and reaching out to other organizations and giving it life beyond the run in New York City. Yeah. So I'm sure she'll do it again somewhere. Yeah.
And are you part of the farm theater stuff that Patrick's doing? Or
no.
Okay. So how do you come on as a producer? I'm just curious.
I'm friends with Adina.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay.
Yes, and we met through that producing group that I told you about earlier. So a bunch of us, you just end up meeting people that you really respect and you like their work, and so she had me come on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's who you know, right? And how you get roped into certain things. And do you like producing theater as much as film, or not your thing, or what?
I think I like producing theater more.
I love theater. Theater's my go-to.
I don't know. It's just something about it's so. I mean, when you're producing film, obviously there's the set and everything, but like there's something about the theater. It's the rehearsal rooms. It's the spike tape. It's the
so passionate about spike tape.
I know. It's like the dusty theater. Like I don't know. There's something about that just
it's
always
like napalm in the morning.
Yeah, it just feels so. Like you can feel it. When you're producing
it's
theater.
It's there, and it's the alchemy of all the different parts, right?
Yeah.
No, that's great. It made me laugh.
I mean,
that's
I love
really
producing film too, but I don't know. Probably because I grew up in doing theater first.
Yeah.
It's imprinted.
Yeah. No, it's my first love for sure, and I would love to do theater up here, and I'm still trying to figure out ways to do that. But it's like I said, it's a challenge without having a building to do it there.
Yeah.
But we're close. We're
This is
figuring
a
out
great
some
theater.
ways. This is a great theater space. But they have a full school year and things happening, so you really can't commandeer it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, although they've been wonderful partners, and we're very appreciative of the time we do get to have here. And also want to touch on, you have your own podcast. So, I mean, welcome, brother and sister of the podcast world here. And how's that going? Just like, I know you've been doing it for quite some time, probably like 6, 7, how long, 5 years or so? No? How long have you been doing it for?
I just started that.
You just started your podcast? When did you start
I'm
it?
on like the third episode.
Third? I'm trying to think of what, maybe somebody else thinking of, but I know you just started. So how's it going so far, starting it out?
It's awesome. I don't know. I mean, I had the Sensitive Flower blog, which was my writing, and sometimes I would do, talking things. And then one day I had something happen, and I really felt like I needed to talk it and speak it. And then I was like, oh, this is fun. I like talking. I mean, obviously, as you can tell. And then I did another one the next weekend. And I'm like, ooh, this, like, again, like what I was saying to you earlier.
But the blog's been around
feels
the
good.
blog's been around for like 6 or 7 years, right?
Yeah, the blog's been around longer,
Right.
yes. But this podcast that I just started.
Yeah, it's like the verbal blog.
The verbal blog just began. And I love it so much. And, again, it's based on being a sensitive human. And somebody who just feels things so deeply, and anything that happens is like analogy for life, and like I'm like that, and so I wanted to do something that might connect with other people who feel that way too, and we can all just be together in our superpower.
So that's wonderful. And how are you connecting? So it's brand new. What are the connections been like? What's the feedback been? How are you connecting with your audience?
Well, I mean, it's just starting. So I haven't had a ton yet. I mean, I do have the people who are subscribed to.
Yeah, but you had this long blog going into it, though.
Yeah. I think people like it. I did a podcast about Ozzy Osbourne being a sensitive.
Well, who's not more sensitive than the man who bites heads off bats? I mean, come on. I mean, the guy loves animals.
And I had somebody reach out and say, like, I grew up with him and I agree with you, but you have such an interesting take. So I think it'll take some time, but I don't know. I think the right people will like it.
Look, so you already have a base for it from your blog. That's what I was trying to say, and
Yes.
it's going to keep into that. And so my hope is that your blog audience likes the extension of what this is.
Yeah.
And so, or the transformation to what this is. Are
Yeah.
you still writing your blog on top of this, or is this going to be it?
I am. Yeah.
Got
But
it.
the podcasts are only. I don't want it to be any more than 20 minutes. Like most of them are like in the 10 to 15 range. Because I don't. Who wants? I don't know.
Who wants to hear you talk for more than 20 minutes?
Quick, get your thoughts out, and then get out.
I hear you, loud and clear. We have that problem here all the time, but not in this podcast, of course. But that's all right. Well, congratulations. Let us know how we can help in any way. I'm just glad someone else in Inwood's doing podcasts other than me. So I think it's fabulous. And are you having guests as well in the future, or is it just you?
I think it would be really cool to have guests in the future, like bring in other people who are self-identified sensitives as well, and maybe we share stories, or maybe I interview them about what it's like to be a sensitive person in the world, and how you transmit that into it being something that you feel really proud of. So that's definitely an idea in my
Season
head.
2, maybe. You never know.
Exactly.
That's very good. Very good. So you're in the thick of it all. You're on stage. You're backstage. You're doing podcasts. Any advice for lessons learned right now in being a self-creative person in your own work that you can pass on to those out there who are also self-creatives, who are producing, podcasting, acting on occasion, but obviously generating work?
I would say take it one step at a time. I know for myself, I'll get like ideas and this and that, and everything has to happen right now, and la 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 la. And then inevitably, you'll hit upon something that you don't know how to do, or, you need feedback on before you can go to the next step, or, you hit some sort of roadblock, and it forces you to slow down. But I think if you can just really just try to hone yourself in and break stuff down, tasks down, so that you get things accomplished, but you're not overwhelming yourself and then feeling defeated if it doesn't happen. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a huge proponent of take a beat, take a breath. What's the next thing I have to do?
Good.
So especially somebody likes to have their hands in so many different pots like I do, it's really important to be like, what am I focusing on today? What little thing can I do? Okay, da-da-da,
And do that well.
Yeah, and do it well.
Just don't do it. Do it well.
Or, to the degree that you feel good about it.
Right.
And
you can build on it.
And you can build on that.
Yeah.
And don't worry too much about perfection, because that hung me up for so many years. Oh my goodness. I have to be so perfect and so much pressure. And it's like, no, just if you do it from an authentic place, it's good enough.
That's a great way to say it. I like that very much.
Thanks.
And we'll end it right there, so we don't have to talk anymore. Oh, so I don't have to talk anymore. Maybe a little bit more. But Kimberly, thank you so much for coming on today. Really greatly appreciate you sharing your life story and your triumphs and your process with us. And thanks again for being a part of our local artist community here.
Thank you, Aaron.
You bet. So it's Kimberly Dillon here, a special artist spotlight edition of Inwood Art Works, NYC. Oh, and before we go, you give your website for your blog and everything, where we can send people to find more about you?
Yes, people can go to my website, kimberlydillon.net. But if you're on Substack or Patreon, you can just search for Sensitive Flower, and you'll find me.
There you go. I want to make sure we get the signals out there for everyone to follow before we take off. So you have your marching instructions, people, okay? Very good. Again, thanks to Kimberly Dillon for being here on this Artist Spotlight edition. And, this is the only podcast where you meet the musicians, filmmakers, writers, and theater makers, and artists of all stripes who make their home here in Upper Manhattan. If you have a moment, please rate and review this podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to. Many thanks to Good Shepherd here for hosting us, and to HeightSides.com for uptown promotional support. Hey, you can support On Air, by the way, and all of our programming by making a tax-free donation to inwoodartworks.nyc/donate or via Venmo at Inwood Art Works. Be sure to follow us on social media to keep up all that we do, which includes the Inwood Film Festival, FilmWorks Al Fresco, live performances, and so much more. Inwood Art Works On Air is proud to be supported in part by public funds from the New York Department of Cultural Affairs and partnership with the City Council, and our programming is also made possible by the New York State Council on the Arts with support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature. From the top of Manhattan and the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Aaron Sims for Inwood Art Works On Air.